Animals and even our pets that we live together with every day have become an essential part of not only our lives but of society. We live in conjunction with many different animals, whether that be wild animals in forests, stray domesticated animals on the street, or our own pets. But this coexistence has come with a strange twist because we cannot fully understand animals and how they think and how they live, so we project something more familiar to us onto them. Our own habits, our personalities, we humanize the animals, we anthropomorphize them so that we can have a little sense of understanding of what's exactly going on in their heads and how our companions feel. We put emotions, values, our own identities onto these animals, and throughout time, media ranging from movies and television or art to social media and documentaries have all shown how we project those emotions onto them. Throughout the semester, we have gone over many different articles and examples of anthropomorphization, and that has led me to want to research why we do so, how that affects us and the animals we anthropomorphize us. For example, the Companion Species article by Catherine Pond about Jane Goodall and her love for apes, I think it was, monkeys and chimpanzees. There was the Silent World documentary video, and even the Bear 71 interactive documentary. That was personally my favorite. And that those really led me to have an interest in why we anthropomorphize animals. So why do we anthropomorphize animals? They can't communicate with us the way humans do. They can't tell us what they're thinking, can't really use language the way we do, and can't confirm if any of our guesses about them are correct. But we still insist on trying to make them more human-like so we can understand them. For example, in The Secret Life of Pets, we see animals think, speak, argue, and love exactly the way humans do, but that's not exactly original. Animated movies have been anthropomorphizing animals for decades, with movies like The Lion King or Beverly Hills Chihuahua. While it is cute and allows us to empathize with these animals, it's very important to note that these are mainly children's movies. We teach children from a young age to see animals as human-like, translating this animal behavior into human logic, making it easier for us as children to anthropomorphize animals even into our adulthood. According to animal welfare scholar Clive Phillips in The Welfare of Animals, animals are the silent majority in the world, and we rely on our empathy and our capacity to imagine what another being might feel in order to understand animals and how we should treat them. While that is an amazing ability we have, Phillips argues that we can just as easily get those guesses wrong, and in turn maybe accidentally harm the animal, like how some may interpret a dog barking as them being restless, or some may even say annoying, when all the dog is trying to do is warn or protect itself from something a person may not see. We assume animals mirror us, and that risks erasing the non-human nature they have. Similarly, online we also anthropomorphize animals anytime we see them. With the rise of many animal social media accounts like Joan Graz's Noodle the Pug, an elderly dog who people will relate with, as they would see him as tired or lazy or old and wrinkled, but in a cute way, similar to how people see themselves as, oh, I'm just being lazy today, or I'm just being tired, I'm all wrinkled up and shriveled up. But many times animals online are also anthropomorphized simply because it's funny to think that an animal can dance like we can, or talk like we can, or joke around like we can. It helps us relate to the animal more. So the ultimate reason as to why we anthropomorphize is simply because our imagination and our mind needs us to. We cannot stop ourselves from imagining or projecting our own lives onto beings we truly can't understand. As much as we change animals through anthropomorphism, they change us too. Research shows that the more we consume online animal content, the more emotional bonds we develop with those animals. A 2025 article by Junzi Zhang, hopefully I butchered that name, but Su Tao and Wenchong Du, digital animal media creates emotional attachments that mimic companionship normally found in real human-pet relationships. Quote, using a survey and an experiment, this study found that the people who spent more time watching animal videos tended to feel less lonely. This was not just because the videos were fun or uplifting, instead it was the emotional bond with the animals that played a key role in reducing loneliness. Compared with funny videos featuring people, animal videos were more likely to create such emotional connections. How animals are portrayed in the media and how we interact with that media can actually create connections for us through our anthropomorphization. We see cute animals that act like us being sleepy or goofy and silly, and it makes us feel a little less lonely because we relate to those animals. This closeness with animals carries over into real life as well, not only through media, as Leslie Irvin in her article Animals as Life Changers and Lifesavers, Pets and the Redemption Narratives of Homeless People, argues that people can view animals as emotionally transformative companions, able to influence people into bettering themselves and acting as motivation for redemption. Our own projection of our emotions, believing that our animals will believe in us no matter what, shifts how we see ourselves, and our pets become proof that we are caring, empathetic, and good, hardworking people. Our own projections of ourselves can change because of our animals and can even help change our own identities. However, there is a bit of a darker side to how we treat animals, and that is based on how we perceive animals who are more human-like versus how we treat animals who are more wild. According to a 2022 study conducted by Elizabeth Riddle and Jill R.D. McKay, animals who were seen as less human-like or less cute, like in a social media style, were believed to be seen as stressed or exploited, while cuter animals in a social media style were seen as relaxed or friendly, similar to Noodle the pug from earlier. Context significantly altered participants' perception of the animal welfare, and this shows how easily anthropomorphism is shaped by online framing. Social media proves that our interpretations of animals depend more on the story we're given more than the animal itself, because we have less of our imagination to work with when anthropomorphizing the animal. So, what are the consequences of this anthropomorphization? If we continue to reward animals that are more human-like, or if we keep anthropomorphizing animals that really shouldn't be, then what could the result of that be? According to a study on primates on TikTok by Kelsey K. Strong and others, they found that the platform normalizes exotic pet ownership, romanticizing wild animals as if they're tame or relatable just like us. This article reminded me of the horror movie Nope by Jordan Peele, which depicted a wild monkey used on a TV show that eventually conformed to its wild instincts and attacked the entire cast, leading to many injuries and death. I bring this up because there are dangers to our constant anthropomorphization of animals, as we should never forget that our interpretation is simply just that, our own interpretation. Whether it be a primate on social media or in a movie, we should never forget that some animals are wild and have to be handled as such, as it's dangerous to think otherwise. When animals are constantly shown as characters instead of living beings, it becomes easy to overlook their actual needs, stress, or discomfort. This idea that animals are always these cute, idealized versions of themselves links directly back to the beginning of this video, and the beginning of our lives as children. In an article by Patricia A. Gania and others, they speak about the consequences of how we portray animals to children. For example, quote, "Books that do not present animals in their environments accurately from a biological perspective may not only lead to less learning, but also influence children to adopt a human-centered view of the natural world." Anthropomorphism allows us to love animals deeply, but it can also blind us to their true nature and the true needs. Our pets and animals in general are extraordinary creatures. They comfort us, make us better people, and can even save us. But they still should be seen as who they are instead of who we want them to be. Anthropomorphism, while it does help us understand animals, it can also distort them. And although we can't help ourselves or our imagination, we need to recognize when we're projecting onto them and when we're truly seeing them for who they are.